the Marvels just broke a record, and not a good record, for the MCU. It
Yeah.
had like a 79% second weekend drop at the box office. It started off at 47 million on its opening weekend, and now it made like 10.5 or something like that in the second weekend. And
Yeah.
now, granted, the Hunger Games movie's out, and that made like 44 million. And then you'd imagine that the Marvels would come in second, but no, it's like in third. Like I think the new Trolls movie came in second. Like it's like, what do you guys
Yeah.
think about the fact that an MCU movie, like unthinkable, even Quantumania started off at 100 million. Like, what's going on?
I think that Quantum Mania was like really, I mean, it was for me. I don't know if everybody else was feeling this way, was like the big telltale sign of the giant decline of quality with Marvel. And I think everybody's still kind of like hurt and betrayed in their own way with like different projects that they just, I don't think a lot of people were like looking up to this movie. Like they weren't excited as they should be because they were just kind of like afraid of being hurt, I guess. Um, I don't know. That's kind of like my opinion on
It's
it. It's
true.
terrible, but Angelina, what do you think?
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree with that. And I think the massive correlation between these two movies and how poorly they have performed is all of the switchover handoffs. We knew that Quantumania was dealing with all sorts of like FX, SFX, what do you even call it? Like all of the CGI
VFX.
stuff, the whole team was so backed up.
Yeah.
And like now they're talking about striking. Like they said, there were so many reports that they had to rush all the way through this before this movie was even released. I wasn't Quantumania also, they had actually edited it more after its initial premiere. I'm pretty sure I read something that the movie had done its initial premiere before it was released worldwide, and they actually had to go back and do more edits.
Maybe they did. It wouldn't be the first time because nowadays
Yeah.
movies, like they don't deliver physical hard drives or rolls of film to the
Yeah.
theaters. It's like
Yeah.
downloaded off a server, so you can just make an update. I know they did something like that for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse because there was
Yeah.
Yeah.
an issue with the sound mix and people were complaining. And like a week into release, Sony went in and made some adjustments, and then people were like, "Oh, it's fine now." So
Well, they
not
also
only
like
that, but they
changed straight up
yeah,
scenes. Like there was like different animations and
different
stuff.
lines of
Yeah.
dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
there was just all of these reports, and I think that's what these two Marvel movies have the most in common with. We were already getting so much news that the director left, they're going back, they're re-editing scenes, they're filming new scenes, they're reshooting this, they're reshooting that, they're mixing it up. And I think all the reports for the Marvels really were saying like this just felt like a hack job in the editing room. And that doesn't make me want to go see this movie, especially when I know Quantumania. Like, I also didn't go see Quantumania, but that was because all of these reports were so bad. And at this point, I was already like exhausted on superhero movies. I don't want to go waste my time watching a bad superhero movie. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm burnt out on them. Like, I just can't do it.
yeah, and I mean, look, the movie itself is pretty good. Like, it's not the best thing ever. Like, I went and saw it a second time, and I honestly had a much better time with it on my second go around. And
The
like
Marvels or Quantumania?
The
Okay.
Marvels. I think Quantumania, like, it's sort of,
Yeah.
it's not even mid. It's like low level.
Terrible.
There's way too much CGI in it, and the fact that they did not have Michael Pena's character, I think, was like a cardinal sin they could not recover from. Like that,
Yeah,
that
there's
was
no
one of
charm in that movie.
yeah, like Louis was like he was the best part of the first two movies. Like they
Yeah.
needed him in there.
I get
So
angry thinking about Quantum Mania. So let's move
it's
back
just
on to the Marvels,
the
honestly.
Marvels, right? I mean, yeah, like so the Marvels, like to me, is a movie that probably, and we were talking about this on DCU Daily recently, that I think it's starting to prove that look, the Marvels is a better movie than something like a Thor: The Dark World or a few other MCU movies you may put it above. But it's
Yeah.
probably going to make less money than those movies. And that has to do with the fact that I think the overall state of the MCU is affecting the ceiling of this film. Because a lot of people are like making a prejudgment before they even watch the movie because they just don't have the faith in the franchise. And I think that's something where Marvel should start looking into the idea of doing maybe their own version of an Elseworlds like set of stories, because they've been used to success this whole time. And so Captain Marvel came out, made $1 billion. I think if that Captain Marvel movie had come out not between the two Avengers movies, I'm not saying it would have made half as much, but it would probably have made less than $1 billion. So it had that bump. And I think now, like, you're starting to see that if your universe is not thriving, not every movie is going to do as well, because it doesn't have that knock-on effect of, oh, it's the MCU, we need to go see this.
Yeah.
And like DC has done with the Batman and Joker, like your DC could be in like the trash can, but the Batman and Joker made almost $2 billion combined, and they're DC movies. So I think it's a good way to hedge your bets. And hopefully Marvel's learning that lesson, maybe moving forward.